Hi, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery in Indianapolis, Indiana.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Southgate, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk.
Hey guys, we've loved answering all of your questions so far. If you'd like to hear your question on the podcast, please send them to us on Instagram at Wheel Talk Podcast or by email to wheeltalkpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks.
Okay, well, we are live and we are with a very special guest. Somebody we've actually wanted to talk to for quite some time, actually.
She was
Diana Adams.
She was a little bit,
celebrity.
Preoccupied for a few weeks.
A lot of weeks.
Stop it. Celebrity? No. I just like to be locked away most of the time in my studio.
So for people that don't know you, do you want to give a little short and sweet, like who you are, what you do,
Who
kind of
doesn't
thing?
know me? How dare they? No, I'm just kidding. So my name is Diana Adams. I am the founder of Sample Haus. I started Sample Haus in 2019. It kind of started with like fabric upcycling, which is kind of interesting or weird to some. I worked at an interior design firm, and I was in a position where I would see a lot of scraps and like fabric getting tossed away. And I was also in a mode where I'm like trying to figure out how do I start an art business and like make a creative like living off of just being creative. So that's why I was in interior design. So I'm thinking interior designers, they have titles, they're creative. But anyway, so I was taking the fabrics, I was just taking them home. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And I was in a position where I was like speaking to, well, I don't even know if I want to tell that story yet. But anyways, just to kind of like sum it up, because I can go on forever and never, but you can ask me questions to kind of like dial down on some things. But I started off as recycling or upcycling fabrics, and then I started to put them on pottery because I ran into some old pottery in my garage when I was cleaning it up, and like some old samples and like stuff that I did in college. So I'm just like, oh yeah, pottery. Like I totally forgot about pottery. Like how do I incorporate pottery into this whole fabric thing? And so I started chopping it up and adhering it, tying like leather loops into like lidded jars. And so I'm like, that's it. Like it's gonna be pottery, fabric, and then let's see what happens. And I was doing all these craft shows. And then 2020 hit, all the craft shows stopped, and then people started seeing my pottery on Etsy. And since everyone was locked in the house and buying plants and decorating their homes, everyone was just requesting things from it. Like they saw the fabric stuff, they're just like, that's cute. I don't know what that is, but can you make me a planter? And I'm just like, okay, sure, I can make a planter. And so I just started, and then the planters blew up. So I've been known as like the planter lady. And then people are asking like, where does Sample Sample come from? Like, what is his name? Like, so I see that you
fabric.
Yeah, fabric. But they're like, so do you like chop up? Is it like find grounded fabrics inside your planters? Like, what's going on? I'm just like, no. I'm like, it's not that. Like, you'll see the fabric. So it's like two different sectors going on at the same time. But
it's like it started,
but it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it like started one way and then it kind of like evolved into this thing.
Yeah.
And so you're just like, now you just have to just help, like just tell people to guess. You're like, you know what? It's just like a sample of clay.
Yeah, I mean, now that you talked about the fabric pieces, I'm like, okay, well, that's where the sample comes from. And then I'm like thinking house, and I'm like, that's kind of like German, right? So I think it is.
Well, yeah.
And then I'm like,
so,
where does that come in? And then I'm thinking like
Bauhausy. So I like the whole like style of like Bauhaus. So I was thinking of like doing the fabrics and doing like the geometric shapes with the fabrics and painting like backgrounds and lines and angles and triangles and doing all this stuff with fabric. So that was like my whole style and look was kind of Bauhausy. And also I just had a house full of samples. It was like
I didn't realize that we were supposed to be best friends.
Oh, so yeah, you did the triangle.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that stuff.
It's very rare that people
Interesting.
actually know, like, other than like a surface level like knowledge of Bauhaus, you know? Like
Mhm.
they're like, "Oh yeah, that Bauhaus place." I'm like, "No." No, there's more.
There's more to that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, I don't know
that was
Bauhaus. So
where
when
it
you
all
said that, I
started.
was like, I don't know what you're talking about. How do you spell Bauhaus? Obviously, it's
B
Haus, but
A H A U S, right? No, B A U H A U S.
oh, okay.
Bauhaus.
It's hard to see it in your brain. It was a German school from 1930 something to 1941.
Mhm.
And I believe it was taken down when the Nazis came into Germany. And it was a design school. Like Klimt was in it, Kandinsky. They were doing
Mhm.
a lot of ceramics, a lot of interior design, a lot of furniture, lots of primary colors, lots of geometric,
Yes.
design, and yeah. So there was a lot of, and it was all about crafts. So it was like painting, like ceramics, woodworking, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
Everything. Beautiful.
yeah,
Nice. Yeah,
A lot of beautiful work.
I could
yeah,
see the commonalities now.
yeah,
Okay.
Mhm. So yeah, the bright colors, everything. So yeah, a
yeah,
lot of it is pulled from that.
yeah. When did you learn how to do like pottery? Was it in high school or um?
Yeah. Yeah. So I learned it was like my last couple of years
Okay.
in college.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so the whole like college thing after like high school, I'm trying to like figure out. I'm like, okay, like I know that I'm an artist. Like I felt it in my blood that I'm an artist. But when I went to college, I'm just like, well, I can't major in artists. I can't major in art because how do you make money in art? Like
Yeah,
everyone's
it's
telling me like you
practical.
can't make money in art. So I started
Yeah.
in biology, and so I did like 2 years of bio. What was I gonna do in biology? I don't know, but I thought it was going to be a good move. But anyway, so while I was in school, I remember walking through the art department and just like smelling like turpentine and sawdust. I'm just like, like, this is what I need. So I made a huge switch in the beginning or in the middle of my school year. So I was in college for like 6 years. Um, Switched my majors, went to like art studios. I was doing a lot of painting
Uh,
and sculpting. Didn't really know much about pottery until the end. And it was like an elective. So like, oh, do you want to take wood shop or do you want to do ceramics? I'm just like, ceramics. I'm like, oh, like the ghost movie. Like that's all I know is ghost movie. Everyone says
right.
it.
Hmm.
So that's the only reference I had was ghost. I'm just like, yeah, I want to do that. And so I took it.
Great movie.
Um, it's an excellent movie.
Whoopi
I
Goldberg's in
want.
it. She's the shit. Anyway.
She is the shit. I miss old Whoopi though.
You know what?
Miss
She's
old
in
Whoopi.
Star Trek. I'm like Star Trek Next Generation. I'm going through right now, and she's like the bartender of like the whole ship or whatever. And
Really?
she's fucking great. Like I would literally watch anything with Whoopi Goldberg.
You love Sister Act 2. That's
Oh,
like,
Oh, I love
those are in
Sister
the top
Act.
five. Top five movies.
I was
Absolutely.
just recently watching Sister Act, like in the beginning of the year. It was so weird. It was doing like a back to back
So
series, and I
good.
watched them all. They're excellent.
So good.
nice.
Anyway,
Um,
continue. Sorry, what college did you go to?
I went to Dominguez Hills, Cal State
Okay.
Dominguez Hills in Carson,
Yeah.
Where was that? Is that Southern
Carson,
California?
California.
Yeah. I
Okay.
went to Cal Poly.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I did my certification in interior design in Cal Poly.
Oh. Pomona
Yeah,
or
Pomona.
yeah, yeah. I was in Pomona too. It's a terrible school, but it's fine. It's
Well, a lot of my classes were online, so I don't know
yeah.
how terrible it really is. but yeah, that's my background. So I took the classes, I fell in love with it after graduating, bought a wheel. I thought I was gonna do something with these pots, and bills started kicking in, and I dropped it all, left everything outside to rust, and it got rained on, and went to work for retail for like 12 years, and yeah, it got a little rocky.
So what
Now,
did
like now
you
that like
did you graduate college with the art degree?
I
Okay.
graduated with my art degree and I had no idea what to do with it.
Okay.
And it's crazy because like no one really tells you
Mhm.
what to do with it other than being a teacher, getting
Mhm.
your credentials, or working on your portfolio for galleries.
Yeah, or like working at a bank and doing it on the side.
Yeah.
They're like, this is also an option.
Yeah. So yeah, I just had no insight as to how to do it. So I just went to retail,
Yeah.
worked for
Yeah.
Apple, which was great. I love Apple. But
Yeah, I
yeah.
wonder
But
if
yeah.
it's like there's so much. I don't know. It's like the art is like put on this level of, love it for the art and not like,
Mhm.
can we talk
Mhm.
practically? Like, what can I do practically when we're talking about
Yeah.
money and like selling and price? Like, I don't know. I can't remember all that was talked about in college. I mean, I just got a minor, so I don't know the full
Mhm.
BFA side of it, but from what I hear from other people that get it, like they don't talk about pricing and like some of
No.
that more practical
No.
stuff that you
You're
get out.
looking at you're studying old art, people who died and who's making lots of money dead, like selling their work for millions of dollars, and you're going to museums and you're seeing um like weird art that's on the wall that's selling for like thousands and millions of dollars, like a banana stuck on the wall, and you're just like,
Yeah, the
look at this,
modern art, I just don't understand. I don't
look at
understand
this
that.
blank canvas. I'm just like, oh yeah, like, and if I did that, would I be able to sell it? No.
Yeah, but you
So
didn't. But you didn't do it.
I didn't. I thought about it. Didn't. But yeah, I think what kind of clicked for me was when I took this interior design job, and I downgraded myself. Like I was like on the way to like being a manager when I was in retail. I was getting paid well. Um, and then when I hit 30, like something hit me like I need to do something creative. Like I can't just be in retail forever. Like this
Yeah.
can't be just it. So I went back to school and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this interior design thing. So just kind of to wrap around back to interior design. Um, while I was there, like, you take a pay cut, you start at the very bottom, like you're an intern, you're
Mhm.
in the fabric, the sample library, organizing samples and, getting them all color coordinated so that the designers who are getting paid lots of money can go through it and like find their stuff and build pretty homes. And so I was the person who was cleaning up all that shit. So, but I was also the person who was speaking directly to the vendors who would come in and like show me like what's new. Like, oh, look at my new
Mm.
fabrics and look at these new tables that we have. And a lot of times I'm speaking to the owner of the actual
Yeah.
company. And I got to know like certain people who would come in and show samples of their wall covering because they would do hand painted wall covering or hand
Wow.
painted like murals and stuff on the walls. And
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like, so how many people is in this company? They're like, oh, it's just me and my husband, and we like contract some people out. And I'm just like,
Oh, so they're all small
oh,
business owners.
yeah. So I'm
Most
like,
of them.
you're a freaking artist. I'm like, you're not this vendor business person. Like, you're a freaking artist, and this is how you're doing it. You're going out and you're selling yourself, and you know,
You
you're
have
like a
to
sales rep
understand how
now. You
to kind
gotta,
of sell your products and like price
yeah,
it appropriately and like you're doing a
yeah.
service sort of, right?
And we have a
Versus selling a
website, and
product.
we
Yeah.
have a catalog with like products. Like these are the products I have. These are the prices. This is the lead time. This is how long it's gonna take for me to make it. And so just seeing that I'm just like, so these are freaking artists. Like forget the whole vendor thing. Like you're an artist, and this is how you're doing it, and this is how you're making it. They're making tons of money. No one talks about them.
Right?
But so I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna follow the same model. I'm gonna get my business name. I'm gonna register it. I'm gonna figure out a line of products I'm gonna make. I'm gonna stick to it. Get my prices. So I just followed the same steps that they were doing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so then when like COVID happened, things just fell out of hand, and I just started doing whatever people wanted. But it's still like just to get the whole structure, just the whole change of mindset was that you can just do it. You can do
So
anything,
going
but you have
into
to
it,
have
you
this.
didn't actually have clay in the back of your mind of like, this is what I'm going to focus on.
No,
It
I
kind of
just
just
had to figure
evolved to that.
out. Yeah, I had to figure out what, like, can I sell this over and over again? And I was thinking since I was in the interior design field already, and I had connections, I knew all these different vendors. If I recycled their scraps and their fabrics and collage it, and make a pretty wall art, I can resell it to like one of their clients who probably used that same fabric for a sofa or for a chair. Look, you can have this coordinating artwork that Sample House did, kind of bring it all together and kind of match. And so that's the kind of thing I was kind of thinking about, of like coordinating your home decor with your artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the whole idea behind that.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, and then just clay just got involved only because I just ran into a box of my old samples. I'm just like, clay, like this is what I really love. Like clay is like my real, like my heart, like that.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out how to make it work with that, but since I thought of like this big thing with fabric, I'm like, okay, let me see if I can combine the two.
Yeah.
And see if I can make it work.
Nice. And that makes so much more sense now, because like I saw that you were selling earrings and they had the fabric on them, and I was like, what the heck are these? And they're very cool, by the way. They're very, very cool.
Thank you.
But now it all kind of like works together. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. So, tell us about your most recent endeavor in Washington, the land of trees.
It was so pretty out there.
Yeah, it's really pretty. You were in Tacoma, right?
Yes, Tacoma, Washington. So Fee from Fee Pottery, they posted something on their page in January. They wanted to do this whole clay challenge, kind of similar to like the Great Pottery Throwdown, and have people come and stay for like 2 months. I think originally it was like 2 months or something crazy, and do these challenges, and it's going to be recorded and YouTube and all this stuff. I'm just like, that sounds hella fun, and I'm just like, let's figure it out. Because I'm like, in my head, like, yes, like money is an issue, but I think if like the benefits of being an entrepreneur or a self-employed person, you can control your money a little bit more. So I'm just like, okay, if I just bang out a bunch of pots and sell it beforehand, like I can probably leave for like 6 or so weeks and do this. So I signed up for it, and then I told Rich about it, Rich Brown, Pottery 32. I'm just like, you gotta sign up for this too. And if you don't go, I don't go. And so we both signed up.
So it was like an open enrollment kind of thing for whoever wanted, and was able to commit to certain time periods and stuff like that.
Yeah. And so I didn't know we were going to be selected. We didn't know who else they were going to select either. So I think in March they announced the winners and we're selected. I'm just like, yes. So, and then like shit got real. So I'm just like, okay, like how am I going to pay for the ticket, like, and whatnot. But anyways, we get down there, and it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And the way they kind of like organized it, like they were providing food, like we were fed breakfast, lunch.
Food looked amazing.
Dinner.
There's so much.
Food was so good. It was so good. And so yeah, it was like 3 days on recording and like 2 days off. You can do whatever you want. You can work on your studio work if you want, or you can continue to work on your projects. I was just working, like it seemed like I was working every day, because I had West Elm orders coming through. So I'm just like, shit, like I got. So yeah, I was just working nonstop. It was not vacation at all.
Yeah. I was wondering how the schedule was going. I was like, it looked like you all kind of had weekends off to like have fun and explore and stuff. And then I was like, well, there's no way they're recording every day during the week.
No.
And
Yeah,
I saw you cranking out orders. So I was like, well, they must have some downtime.
Yeah, it was 3 days on and 2 days off. So it alternated.
Plus you got to wait for stuff to dry. And y'all were doing like big projects that probably took forever to dry, and bisque fire and stuff.
Yeah. So it was insane. It was really insane. Like, just to have, like, I have so much respect for Fee, and just thinking of bringing all these different types of people and with different backgrounds, different like political views, different cultures, like in your house for 6 weeks. And just
was it so it was all on site, like you stayed on site, or was it like a local B&B that you all split up at different places?
Yeah, we had an Airbnb. So there was 2 Airbnbs
Okay.
that was paid for. They raised money
Yeah.
to pay for those. So yeah, I was in a house with the guys, and then it was another house with the rest of the girls there.
Wow.
So, but yeah, we were mostly at fees most of
Yeah.
the time,
Wow.
and it was
And
intense.
you came from you're based in LA, right? So
Hmm.
where did some of the other folks come from around the country?
Yeah, so there was Rich Brown. He's from Georgia. Dom. He's from no, not Montana, Minnesota.
Mm.
Hector, Crete. I'm trying to remember their names. I can remember all of their pottery names. But Crete from Ramix is Hector. He's from Texas. Also, Gabo is from Texas. Luann and Sierra, they're from Seattle, so they're both local. And
Mhm.
Okay.
Brooke, she's from Tacoma, so she's
Oh.
like hella local.
Yeah, that's
So
not too bad.
I originally heard that it was supposed to be like a local thing only,
Yeah.
which probably would have worked a lot better as far as like logistics for fee. But I guess since they noticed that other people were signing up from different states, he was just like, let's
Yeah, it's
let's
like,
do it nationally.
can we?
Yeah.
Can we not? Like, get a wider reach
So,
of
yeah.
people, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if they were willing to, but it was a lot. It was a
So
lot.
they kept you there like the whole 6 weeks. So were you guys all competing together the whole 6 weeks, or were people like knocked off, I guess, you know? 'Cause
No, we were not knocked off. There was
okay,
no
that's awesome.
elimination.
No elimination.
Yeah, so it was all like just the challenge really ourselves.
Yeah.
There was going to be a winner selected at the end,
Mhm.
or there is going to be a winner selected at the end. So it's still going on at this moment. It's still going on.
Yeah, I saw
So
some pieces in a
we,
bisque kiln, and I was like,
yeah, like they're still
oh,
firing stuff. Like
yeah.
it was a lot. It was a lot. So they decided to fire the people who are local later because they can still come in and glaze.
Yeah.
I think there's still a couple of things that I didn't finish glazing, but we're gonna decide. There's gonna be a winner selected later, and we're all gonna fly back. I think they're planning on having like a reunion type thing, kind of like Housewives of Atlanta or something like that. We all kind
Yeah.
of come back in a room and
Hmm.
Yeah.
chat about life, and then get selected. Whoever
You get a little
the
like
winner is.
real life section, like the reunion
Yeah.
union
We all
special.
have different hairstyles. We're all adults now. We're all made it in life. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, it's still going on. It has not stopped.
Like it's not stopping.
Yeah, some of we talked about the British Throwdown or whatever, Great Pottery Throwdown a few weeks ago, and I think that was like some of the expectations, and like they just blow shit up because it's like the time limits are so ridiculous. But
Yeah.
hopefully with the flexibility, it's like I don't know how long they're on site for that show, but
I can't imagine. I can't imagine they fired carelessly with you guys. Just knowing the Tacoma clay like art scene, I don't
Mhm.
believe that they would have done that. Like in the Great Pottery Throwdown, they were like, "You have 2 days to get this done, and it's a 7-foot fountain." And it's like,
Right.
"Fuck you!" And then they put it in the kiln wet, and then they blow it up,
explodes.
and they're like, "This is your fault." And it was like, no, it's not. Like, I can't imagine that happening in the Tacoma clay scene because
No way.
they're very like particular about that kind of stuff. So yeah.
So yeah, they were very careful, and they knowing that like they really wanted to make sure it was not like that, like the
Yeah.
Great Pottery Throwdown.
Mhm.
Like we had time to finish
not
our
rushed.
project.
Yeah.
Like if you want to take the extra 2 days, which you could have explored the city, you can
Yeah.
come back and work and like finish your work.
Mhm.
But like that, I think that leeway kind of like fucked with their heads a little bit because then some people
Yeah.
were putting in extra work and the other people weren't. They're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go out.
The
And then other people's
competitiveness,
work was
yeah.
looking a lot better. We're just like, damn, that's not fair. Everything should be timed. And so it was a lot of like back and forth.
Yeah.
Just like, stop fighting. Let's just all get along. Yeah.
like everybody has a punch card that they can use throughout the whole time, and it's like you can only log this many hours. Like if you went
Yeah.
overboard on the first couple challenges, like
I think it
you're
should have been
handicapped,
that
so you
way.
can't do that on
Yeah.
the later ones or something.
I think it should have been that way because I think the more like exciting ones were the because so they were like shorter like trial
Yeah.
things like in between that we would like get paid for like if you won. So those were like really fun because we were like
Ooh,
super competitive and it was like 2 hours
like little
to do that.
flash
So we were just
challenges or
like,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
So those are hella fun. I wish all of them were like that, but like the ones that just went on, it seemed like forever. We're just like, when is it gonna be done?
Yeah, those big projects were probably pretty grueling.
Yeah. And like I ended up injuring myself
I saw
like
that.
the first week
Yikes.
of being there. So as soon as we got there, we're just like, we're gonna take the day off and we're gonna go hiking in the woods. And I went with Rich and Hector. We're like, let's take the Razor scooters and let's like scoot down to the beach and then we can hike up and sightsee. And so we get on the Razors and I'm like, I got my camera out, and, content person, got to record everything. It's going to be so cute. But like I was thinking, I'm like, okay, this is not safe. So I got the scooter like with the seat. So I look like a little granny, like scooting. So I'm thinking that I'm safe, sitting down and recording was not safe. So we hit a hill, a really steep hill, and it was curved. So I didn't really see how steep it was at the time. And so we're going down this hill and I'm recording going down the hill and I'm like, oh shit. And so I took my foot off to try and like slow me down. My hand, the camera that my hand, or the hand that my camera was on was the brake handle.
Oh,
so I'm
no.
like, shit. So I'm like, I had to like switch hands in the middle of like turning this steep ass corner. I think my phone shut off at that moment because I didn't record the fall. I wish I really got the fall, but I didn't. So I switched hands and then I start braking. Brakes are terrible. Brakes are not working. And so I'm like, shit. And so I'm thinking in my head that I can do the little zigzag thing and like slow down that way. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the zigzag thing. And so when I zigged, the scooter zagged.
Your
So the
momentum.
scooter went that way, and then my leg went the other way. I almost did like a split situation, and I like sprained my knee.
Oh,
And so I heard a pop. I don't know what it was. I still didn't get an MRI, but I heard a pop, and I just fucked my whole knee up. And so throughout the whole competition, I'm hurt. I'm like asking people, "Can you hand me this?
Like
Can you
nursing
put
it,
this
yeah.
up there?
Yeah, you don't want to
bring
stand
my
up and
things
down.
Yeah, and I'm like this sucks because like everyone's like running around doing stuff, and I'm just like sitting there and like, I'm like, I'm done with this project. Can you hand me another ball of clay? Like it was so sad, but like I had to like snap out of it, be positive. Like it could have been way worse.
I saw them
Yeah.
helping you out with your West Elm stuff, though. I don't know if they were slapping on underglaze on pots and whatnot, but
no, they were helping me paint because, okay, so I'm a workaholic. I will stay in that room all day. And they were trying to get me to get out the room. They're like, we're going to have, I don't know. Okay, I don't know if you want to cut this out or leave it. I'll probably ask to see if they want this broadcast. But we were going to get mushrooms. We're going to do mushrooms that night. And so, and I've never done mushrooms before.
we'll leave it in unless you tell us to take it out.
Okay. So that night was mushroom night. It was like they started a fire. It was like a fire outside. It was getting dark, beautiful. I'm inside painting all these West Ham orders, and they're like, "You need to stop working so you can have these mushrooms." I'm just like, I can't stop because if I don't stop, then I can't carve them. And so they're like, "We're gonna help you. We're all potters. We all know what to do. We're gonna help you." And I'm just like, fine. So they helped me do all the painting. I popped like, I don't know, 4 pills. It was the tablets.
Oh yeah, for microdosing.
Yeah. So I think 6 was like the max. I did 2.
Yeah.
And then I didn't feel it like after an hour. They're like, okay, take 2 more. So I did 2 more. And I was like still working. I'm just like, okay, I think something's happening. I think I'm gonna stop. And so we stopped. We got everything painted. And so everything's like wrapped in the studio, painted. I go outside and I hang out with them. And in my head, I don't know what mushrooms are supposed. Oh, I hear. Hold on, I got a call. I always fuck up because I always hit the wrong button. Hold and accept or end and accept?
End and
How do I
accept. No, and
Oh,
wait,
end?
no.
no,
I
No,
think
I
end is
no,
always
going to
end.
kill this call.
no.
Gonna let it go until
Just
it's
let it
fine.
go.
Just let it go. Yeah.
Okay, it's that. Okay.
Okay.
I was like, you're going to cut us off right here? No.
Right at the mushroom conversation? This is the juiciest part.
Sorry. So yeah, so I'm outside and everyone's like doing weird stuff and got gavels in the corner. I don't know. She disappeared for a moment. I don't know where she went. And everyone's just like feeling it and just like having a good time. Oh, it was 4th of July, so there's fireworks. Yeah,
Oh,
fireworks.
I could imagine. I've
So
never done mushrooms, but I could imagine that would be either frightening or pleasant.
so I think it was nice. It was nice for me, but I think either I didn't take enough or it put me in this mood to like really want to work. Like I kept looking at the
I was waiting
studio.
for it. I was waiting for you to be like, and then I went in the studio for another 4 hours and knocked out those orders. And
So I guess, I guess mushrooms is going to be part of the daily routine now.
think so. I think I just
Microdosing.
kept. It was nice. I felt it. I was just like I kept looking at the room and it was like no one in it, and it was like for me like I'm an introvert. Being around all those people like it was just too much. Like after day
Yeah.
3, I was like I was done like looking at people.
day
So,
3. All right, we got 5.5 weeks left.
And you
like, damn.
you had a messed up knee, so you couldn't do alone walks. Alone walks are like the best part about stupid conferences because then you can just like walk alone and nobody's talking to you. Those are the best.
I did it alone, and it was dark, and it was on the grass, and I did alone, an alone lumpy grass walk. That was the scariest. I swear, I don't know how slow I was walking. They were probably looking at me like, "What the hell is she doing?" So I was walking like very carefully on the grass. But yeah, I ended up like everyone was asking me like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I don't need help. Leave me alone. I need to go to the studio." And so I go to the studio and I close the door and I'm just like, I'm in the studio by myself. Like this is beautiful. And I knocked out like I carved like I don't know over 20 something pieces. And I like
Wow.
knocked it out. And every now and then like people like Thea would come in and be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like I don't understand why people keep
I'm
asking me. Like, I'm
great.
fine. Like
Yeah.
like this is how I normally am. Like I don't think anything's wrong with me. Do you think anything's wrong with me? She's like, yes, something is wrong with you.
In the
I don't know.
zone.
I was like mega in the zone, and I
Yeah.
Yeah.
loved it. But
What? Oh, go on.
no, that's it.
Oh, I have a question about the West Elm order. Like, how did that come to fruition? Did they contact you? Did you contact them? How did that
They
happen?
ended up they ended up reaching out. It's kind of funny. They ended up reaching out to me in 2020, like in November.
Okay.
And I did not see that email at all because I
Oh.
so they the way I set up my email since I started my website before I got my personal like business email, all of like those emails that I get on my website go to my old email that I
Oh,
haven't looked at in a while. So things were getting
Oh.
crazy in 2020, so I haven't looked in that email. And so here it is, like February or January of 2021, and I get an email from like Squarespace, and I saw that one. I'm just like, oh, like what's down? Like it was a middle party or a third party. I don't know.
third
Someone
party.
else contacted me. It was called Perch or something like that. They're like, oh, West Elm wants to work with you. I'm like, this is spam. I'm just like, what
I
is
did the
Google
same
Perch? Like,
thing.
what is
I did the
this?
same thing.
It's like, who are these people? So I looked them up and I'm just like, okay, they look legit. And so I responded back to them and I'm like, yeah, I want to work with you guys. And and so they were like, okay, we'll put you in contact. And so I'm like, well, let me just look at all of my old emails. Like, let me just see
Mhm.
what's in here. And so I saw all these old emails from like last year. And then West Elm like emailed me directly and was like, we want to work with you. And I'm just like, shit, I missed it for like 3 months.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't hold that against you.
Oh.
But I responded back to them and they were like, they replied like immediately, like within 10 minutes. They're like, yes, we thought you ignored us. And blah, blah, blah. I'm just
Wow.
like, no, I didn't ignore you. So yeah, I didn't reach out to them. They reached out to me. So
Yeah.
it
I
was
tend to
nice.
do that sometimes with emails where it's like, Like you get a inquiry about some like collaborative thing where they're gonna do a video or like a compilation video, and they want you to do. You have like homework to do, and I'm like, I got homework.
Yeah, of
And
course.
it's like, okay, that's gonna take about a month. And then I finally like do it, but at least they didn't hold it against you, and they're like, oh well, she's busy. Like,
No, they loved it.
yeah, that's great.
They were down. But yeah,
So
that's
is
how
that a wholesale agreement, or is it a like what is that?
it's not really a wholesale, so it's so they do get a percentage. Um, it's in my favor. I think they take 35%. I think it's probably different percentages for different people, but for me, it's they
Yeah.
take 35. And I ship everything, so it's drop ship.
Oh, so it's all
Okay.
made to order. So they take orders on
It's
their
all made to
website,
order.
and
hmm
then they just
And
tell
there's a
you
lead
every
time.
week or whatever how many.
Yeah, so there's a whole system that really sucks. It doesn't suck. It's a good system, but it's a lot for artists,
Yeah.
for me. But yeah, you gotta like log in and you gotta accept the PO. There's purchase orders, and you gotta do all this other stuff and turn it into
Oh,
acknowledge it, and then turn it into an order and all this other
okay, wow.
stuff.
Okay, so the
And then you gotta
customer is
invoice
just
it.
putting the request in, and then you have to accept it before the customer actually like pays for it and like gets a
I
confirmation that it's
don't know
been.
how the payment works, but I don't get paid until 30 days after I invoice West Elm. So West Elm gets paid, I think, directly
Mm.
immediately as soon as the customer pays.
Yeah.
But I have to make it, ship
Oh,
it, and if I remember to invoice it, so
oh
it doesn't even
no.
kick until I ship it. It kicks after I invoice it. So I have to invoice it, and then it's 30 days after I invoice.
Can you at least create
Welcome. Yeah.
invoices off of the website that you're interfacing with to like ship this one, ship this one, ship this one. All right, here's my invoice created, and then I send it off and like, all right, here you go.
You can, if you have everything ready like that.
Oh,
But
okay.
I mean, before, like when I first started, I was like, I made a bunch, like I had a bunch ready to ship.
Yeah.
Um, but I was noticing like certain things were selling more than others. And
Uh-huh.
then I was sitting on a lot of stuff. So I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. So as things start dying down, it just became like a made to order thing. And I wasn't
Gotcha.
Yeah.
really
Okay.
worried about the West Elm stuff anymore. Cause I'm like, well, I'm not going to get paid until later. So I'm not going to kill myself
Yeah.
over
So do
these
you have to
orders.
give them time frames of like, okay, I'm open for orders during this period and like, okay, we're closing them, or do you just keep it open all the time?
No, they want it open all the time. They want it
Okay.
open. They prefer it open all the time, but they will work with you if you do need to close it. Because at one point, I ended up closing my spoon rest. So I did spoon rest with them last year, Christmas time, last Christmas, and the spoon rests were hot. I was selling a
Why?
lot of them.
Why do spoon rests sell? Why
I
are
don't
spoon
know.
Becca
rests
is just,
popular? I am
she doesn't
frustrated.
understand this.
I'm frustrated. I'm
Spoon rests are
frustrated.
popping. I don't know. I don't know if it's the price point. I'm just like, I've never had a spoon rest. My mom has never had a spoon rest. My grandmother has never had a spoon. We use saucers. That's what you use for the spoons on the
Hmm.
oven. So this whole idea of spoon rest was just like, all right, if that's what you want, spoon rest, sure,
So
I
what
can
are
make
yours
it.
priced at?
I'm at $29.
29. Wow. Okay. See, I've always avoided doing the Sgraffito spoon rests because I'm like, I think the price, like my regular spoon rests are 15, and I do make a ton of them, and that's the majority of
hmm
my lower priced item buys. So I'm like, is it even going to financially be worth it? And are people going to have interest in a Sgraffito carved one?
Yeah,
Plus, it's like the work
do
to
it.
like, paint it on and all that shit. So I'm like, I've never done it, but
Do it.
I don't know. I'll just direct them to you. I'll just be like, oh, she's got them over there.
Double the price and do it.
Yeah,
But
Becca
yeah,
just
but
started throwing some, so she was experimenting and seeing how they.
I think yeah, Christmas time I'll do a whole bunch because that's what's gonna sell. And what happened? What happened? But yeah, it was selling so much. I got so overwhelmed. I turned it off. I was like, turn this shit off. Like I don't want to make any more spoon rests. But like in anybody else's mind, that would have been like, why are you turning that off if people are buying it?
But imagine how much work goes into throwing it, and then you got
I
to paint on individual spoon
know.
rests. Like they're so
And then I'm like,
small.
I didn't have time to do my own stuff. Like I don't want to just be making stuff for West Elm. Like I want to do like a portion of West Elm and a portion my site.
Yeah, you have
You
to be
know?
very
So
reactive.
yeah. So I told them to cut it off, but then I told them to turn it back on before I went on this trip because I knew that like it'll at least give me like something to do and some money to get by the time I
Yeah.
come back from this trip. So yeah, spoon rice are back on, and so I'm just gonna leave things on, and then I'm even decided to do the same thing like with my site. It's just like leave like a made to order section of things on, just for like the tricklers, the people who just like randomly start coming onto my site. At least something's there, and it's not just sold out.
I always wonder if
all
that's
the time.
beneficial to do like pre-order or made to order, because you don't usually like build up for a made to order. It's like, hey, they're available now. Go on there.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I just started it like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of orders, like, and I sent it out to my email list. So like all my email people, they're just like, yeah, this is cool. So all of them came and they ordered whatever they wanted to order, like the coasters and the mug, the new mug. I put that on there for like made to order. So people wanted that, so they came and they ordered those things. But planters are not really selling as much, and like the older stuff, like the lidded jars, they're just like there. So this really for anybody who's new to my page and they're just like scrolling through, they're just like, oh, I want to buy that thing.
Do you price the made to order higher than if you were to sell it ready to ship because of the risk of breakage or issues?
I have not. I don't know. I'm still playing with it.
Yeah.
If they start selling like crazy, I might. But as of right now, it's just like another product because I'm still trying to see. I'm still trying to balance everything out.
Yeah.
Running a business is hard.
It sucks. Fuck, it fucking sucks.
I don't know why I did this.
Yeah, especially with like the colors. Like I'm always very like, okay, if this thing is popular, I have to be able to like have a system for reproducing it so that I can have X number of them. So that I don't just have one of this color, one of that color, because I can't get any information and data if I'm only selling one of something.
Yeah.
But Becca's like, I don't give a fuck about that.
No, you and your fucking data.
And then I'm like, well, if I did a pre-order, that might be cool, but I want to do something that I'm like really solid about the colors. Like I know it's gonna come out good.
And it's crazy because like the colors that I like aren't like the same colors that I would think would sell out.
That's
and then,
Becca
like,
right there.
Whatever sold out before, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a bunch of those. It didn't sell out this time. I'm just like,
dude, that's what.
Fuck it.
That's what happened with my like latest like fucking whatever sale like update.
Your fancy cup update.
All of the good ones didn't sell. Like the only ones that like did sell was my best friend's sister bought the like really good ones like right away, but then like the ones that I liked the most were still up there. And then I didn't tell you this, but like one of my buddies from back home who actually sold my house, he's a realtor, he bought $500 worth of fancy cups.
Damn.
I know.
I think you did tell me that. Did you give him a deal on it, or did he just get 5?
No, he got 4 and then he got 2 of the snack bowls, but he got the ones that I was like, why the fuck didn't these sell? Like, why are these not selling? These
did
are
he
the
specifically ask
ones.
you, or did he pick those, or did he ask you like, hey, give me your 5 best or your
No. He like went online and picked out what he wanted.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's just like, why do the ones that we like the most never sell?
Oh.
I love getting questions at shows where people are like, which one do you like a lot? And I'm like, oh, I love this.
The more expensive one right here.
Yeah, this is it. This is right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still trying to figure this shit out. And like right now, so now as far as like money wise goes, now that I'm making, so I already have the money from the made to order things that I'm making right now. And so right now I'm in production of making this stuff. But now I'm like, okay, I need money for next month.
Wait, how did you get the
money. You got the money for this month.
Do you mean you got the money from while you were gone? It finally like
the
paid
pre-orders.
For pre-orders. So yeah,
the pre-orders that you
stuff.
put on
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Not the West Elm stuff.
No, yeah, West Elm still hasn't kicked in yet.
Okay.
But but I got so 2 weeks ago when I launched the whole made to order thing, I got that
I gotcha.
chunk of change in, and now I'm in production of making stuff. But if I wanted to switch, so like if no orders come in between me making stuff and shipping it, now I have no money in between now into like me producing a whole nother batch.
Well,
And
maybe
so
what if you just like put your pre-orders up for 5 days at the first of the month? Like, what if you opened it for 5 days at the first of the month, and that way it's like, hey, you can't get it until the 1st of August or the 1st of
Pre-orders
July or
open
the
up the
1st
first
of
week,
September.
and then
Yeah.
yeah.
And then it's like a consistent paycheck. What about that?
yeah, it's still not guaranteed that people are gonna
Order
Buy.
them.
buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I guess you gotta.
if they have to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is it like you're trying to
yeah.
balance your workload as well? You're like, West Elm is going to take up 40% of my workload this month, and then pre-orders are going to take up 25%, and then you have the extra whatever percent to like play around and like make something more strategically of what you want and
I
see if it
mean,
sells.
yes and no. You speak a lot in percentages. I don't do a lot of percentage talk in
Welcome to
my
my life.
head. It's like but no, so I'm worried about like me doing like the small, like it seems like doing the small batch work and like, hey, there's a shop update and then people come eat it up. That works well. So I
Mhm.
still want to do that. And how do I balance the made to order stuff and then also working on my small batch
Yeah.
Yeah.
stuff?
I wonder if limiting your
Um,
made to order options would help.
Maybe, but even if I still cut that off, I still have to make a bunch of small things. I mean, my small batch
Mhm.
stuff in time. Like it pretty much needs to be done before September, so I can have
Yeah.
September money, so I can pay September bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. It's a balance, but I'll figure it out. So like I make a little bit extra when I'm doing the made to order. I always like make a little extra, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
so I can put that on my site to sell. Or if I have breakage, I have extra.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I'm just focusing on like getting faster.
Mhm.
But then like one cool thing that I did learn from doing the clay challenge is that like our work schedules were like 2 hours for this challenge and you have to stop what you're doing and then you do 2 hours of this challenge and 2 hours of this. So we were working on 3 challenges in a day. We would have to like stop what we're doing, wrap things up and keep going. So that whole like this 2 hours a day
Mhm.
kind of helped me think like, okay, so I could work on a big project 2 hours a day and I can make something humongous or make something like that's maybe $1,000 or whatever, like something super special, and kind of incorporate that into like my day-to-day production because doing production work constantly is it sucks. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like a machine, you
Yeah.
know. I want to have a good mix of like fun, production, and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had anybody help you with like painting the underglaze? Like I have my assistant paints the underglaze on for me. I haven't painted underglaze in a couple of years, but
That's
like, and then
nice.
that's like affordability. Like, can you afford to pay somebody to help with that? Would that actually lighten your load and make it like cost effective? You know?
Yeah. So before moving into this new spot, I had help. I was paying my cousin. My cousin was coming in and helping me. And then also I was like next to my mom, and my mom would come and help. My sister would come and help like pack and ship and all this other stuff. Friends. But now since I've moved out and I'm here in Long Beach and a little bit further, so my mom isn't that accessible. And now that I have a larger overhead, I can no longer pay my
Mm-hmm.
cousin. So yeah, I'm figuring out how to have
Efficiency.
like more like streams of income coming in,
Yeah.
efficiency, and just trying to make it work because I love this studio. I don't want to lose the studio. So I need
Yeah.
to make sure that I can afford this studio.
Right.
So
Because
It's a
I
lot.
saw you moved semi recently. So what situation were you in before? Were you paying to rent a studio space and you were making production out of that, and then you also had your apartment that you were living in, or kind of? And you're in LA,
Yeah,
so I would expect
yeah.
everything's pretty expensive.
Everything is expensive. So I was living at home when I was in LA. So that was free. And I was paying for an external studio that was like what, 300 square feet?
Okay.
And so I was paying for that. So I have a very low overhead. I mean, it could be more, I think, for certain people, but it was low for LA.
Yeah.
But now that moving out, so now I have like my rent for living and food and everything else that like my mom isn't gonna do anymore, and studio space is like now combined, so it almost like tripled my my overhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, so
rough.
Wow.
it was a shocker. Like,
Did
and I
you
knew it
did
was
you have
coming.
do you have savings built up so that you could have a longer runway as you
Yeah,
moved into this higher overhead kind of
yeah, I
realm?
had some savings to kind of pay for it because I had to do the whole like deposit in the first month, so that like
Yeah.
ate up a lot. Um, I don't know what's been carrying me on this long, but I'm still
I
in
used to,
here and it's
yeah,
August.
I used to say that a lot. I'd be like, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know who is paying this rent, but it's not me. Like,
It's
something's doing it.
crazy. It's crazy. And there's some times where there was a couple of months where I didn't like pay myself, like I didn't give myself like a paycheck. Like most of it just went to bills.
Mhm.
So I did do that a couple of times, and I had savings already to kind of like cover me to like live and like eat and stuff like that. But um, but yeah, I need to figure this shit out ASAP. So I have a lot of things in the works. Like I've been doing like the fundraisers to help me get more equipment so I can
Yeah.
get a fucking pug mill so I can like wedge through clay a lot faster, and that pretty much replaces like what my cousin was doing, the pug mill, because he was recycling a lot of my clay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, and if I can start teaching, I think teaching will be nice. I've been getting a lot of requests for teaching, which is
Yeah. Have you taught
crazy.
before? Have you done a workshop or anything yet?
I've done a couple of workshops. Like I did one in Padelais, and I did one in still life ceramics.
Hmm.
Mhm.
But like as far as that, like I've never thought of myself as like a teacher. Like I'm not a teacher. Like
Yeah.
I don't have like don't come to my class thinking I'm gonna be like super proper and this is what you do here and you're gonna take the lip and you're gonna do like I don't have all the proper terms. It's just
Yeah.
like this is how I do things, and it's more of like an experience if you want to take like one of my classes. Um, but yeah, all like that's a whole learning curve. And then with me being like introverted, like it's good like when I'm there, but like afterwards I'm completely drained. I'm just like I don't want to look at clay for
Hmm.
weeks. Not weeks, maybe a couple of days.
But would you do that more like an online style, or would you just so you have a wider audience to reach for it versus local?
I Most of my customers are not in my city. So I have a lot like when I was doing the local workshops, I was getting a lot of like DMs like, "Oh, is it going to be recorded? Can I jump on, virtually?" I'm just like, "No, it's all here." So I had a lot of people wanting to do virtual. So I think I will do for sure I'm going to do a virtual class because that's where most of my people are. Like most of my followers
Hmm.
are in other states. I don't feel like a lot of people know me in Cali,
Yeah.
which is interesting. So yeah, a lot of my people are on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So I have to work on that too and do like some more, go back to like doing the pop-ups and doing more local shops. Um, yeah, and just reaching out to stores and just getting my name out here locally.
Yeah.
So I think doing a mix, like I don't want to open up for like classes, like
Yeah.
3 days a week. Like I'm not going to do that. It's going to be more like one or two workshops a month so I can have
Seems
that
more
breather.
manageable.
Yeah, I need my breather time.
Yeah, for sure. And you had
Hmm.
mentioned that you were kind of considering like doing a Patreon. Like, what is that? What have you been like thinking about that? Especially since most of your customers are not in the LA area.
Hmm.
Like, have you considered that?
Yes. So Patreon was part of my idea process as far as like helping me raise money, just
Mm-hmm.
for just upkeep and just keeping this up. Um, I figured with Patreon, I can do, since I record a lot of videos and people like my videos, I can do some like tutorial videos and have that be on Patreon where people can subscribe to and just like watch
Mm-hmm.
a list of videos. I can probably go live on there and people can watch me live. Um, I can offer like one-on-ones with people. I can probably just do that on my site. People can just sign up for like one-on-one lessons. Um, yeah, just more. I just want to have more engagement. I think with Instagram, things get kind of lost.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
People get lost. You don't see people for a while, and then people come back, and it's like Instagram will just like feed your stuff to whoever the hell they want to feed it to. Like I don't even know who's seeing my stuff anymore. So I think with Patreon, I can at least narrow down who like my real followers are.
Yeah.
Um, and so I can kind of cater to them a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do want to experiment with that and see what that's about.
So what's interesting is that now that I'm on Patreon, it almost seems like, and I considered doing it on my own website, um, before I like signed up on Patreon,
Mm-hmm.
and they take a lot.
So Becca just
It's-
started her own personal Patreon
Yeah,
and then also doing one-on-one consulting with like throwing expertise to
Mm.
help
right.
individuals for like 1 hour
On
time slots.
on Patreon.
No, that's just
No,
on her website.
I do the consulting on like through my website and then on Skype, but then the Patreon is through Patreon, like, it's an actual Patreon, but I almost wish that I would have done it on my website instead, just because they
Yeah.
take like so much money. It is
How much do
insane.
they? I don't even know. So yeah, I don't know
Let's
how much
see.
they take. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it because
Because otherwise, you'd have to figure out your website, have like a paywall on your website, and have like a membership. So they pay like a monthly
right.
membership, and then have some kind of system that manages monthly memberships
Yeah.
to invoice people and have them
Yeah.
pay. Patreon at least like auto
It figures
takes the
all that
money
out for
out,
you.
and they have
Mhm.
to. So I'm sure it takes a lot of the legwork out of it that you don't have to do
Mhm.
on your own.
Mhm.
Yeah, like you can get apparently I have a lot of money to withdraw. Um
Maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why. No, it's because it's August and I guess I didn't withdraw from the first time. But let's see, earnings breakdown by month. Okay, that's not what I wanted to look for. Um it's just they take like almost
For some reason, I feel like it's like 8%, but I'm not sure.
it is like 8% and
Yeah, I was talking to one of my friends, and she was saying they take like 7 to 12%. That's a big
it
range,
depends.
though.
It depends. Like it depends on what they're doing. So okay, here we go. In August, they attempted to charge $371. Like that's how much my Patreon earns. They
Okay.
declined. What this is also interesting. It like $14 of that was declined. So I imagine that like the customers can be like, nah, peace out.
Well,
Really?
Like,
or it could have been their card expired or something. I mean,
right,
Ah.
exactly.
that's
It could
nothing
be
a
anything.
decline.
Okay, so then the payment fees were $25.95. The platform fees were $28.60, and so I got 302 out of the 371.
Okay.
So that's almost $70 that they're taking out, which is
302 out of 371.
yeah. I mean, like actually, it's not 70 because 15 of that was declined, but
That's a little over
Right.
80%. So,
yeah, but that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot that they're taking out, and really, the only thing that you're doing on Patreon is you're going through YouTube and you're uploading a link. So, like, it's not like it's not like you're doing anything super special. You can just not list it on YouTube and then take it and put it on your website and have people sign into your website.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
It's more the interface of it. And,
yeah, you're more paying for the interface than you are the
and the
otherwise.
invoicing and stuff
And then
like that.
once you do it, you're like fucked because you're already in it. So it's not like you can be like, hey guys, I'm transferring.
I mean, you could.
Like,
You
Right.
can be like, I was trying
You
it for a
could.
few months.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
good to know. That's good to know. So I'll
I think
definitely
that
look into doing it on
But
my site.
what has your like retainment been though, Becca? Have you kept most of them, or have you dropped
I've
like?
only lost 2 people. And I think one of them was that one that was declined. And
Out of how many people are we talking here?
37.
That's great. That's great. I mean,
So
300 something bucks sounds pretty good. That's way better than we make
Yeah.
with podcast.
and I
Patreon.
mean, I make, let's see, I mean, I post 2 videos a week. So like,
That's
it's
a
not
lot.
like, yeah. And I mean, like some of them are small, 36 patrons and patrons. And let's see, 2 have actually canceled. So like, I post 2 videos a week. One of them being like, I mean, I don't really care, like plan them out, but usually one's a little bit longer and one's like really short. Like the
Mhm.
video that I posted yesterday was like, hey, this is how you should be holding your tongs on your pieces because don't be an idiot. Like, and it was a 2-minute video, you know? So I think that that's where mine's a little bit different and very to the point, very much
Mhm.
like, I'm not going to drag it out.
Straightforward.
Yeah. So, and I mean, like, I've asked and people have seemed to been good, but there's not a lot of activity. So, like,
Yeah.
of the 36 people, there's probably 4 people that, like, actually comment and are, like, active. So,
Wow.
like,
That's
I
kind of a
was
bummer.
really, yeah, I was really surprised. And I don't know if that's just me or, like,
I think
like
we're
the
just
way.
I think we're just shifting as a like as the art kind of culture of like we want to support individuals, but maybe we don't need more stuff, so we can throw a few
Yeah.
bucks at them every month because we appreciate
Right.
what they
Right.
put out. Like
Yeah.
'cause I
they
have
get
some
more from you than just the
customers.
Patreon. They get your Instagram, your you know
Yeah.
Right.
the podcast or
Yeah,
whatever.
they don't need all the videos. Because I have some customers who are just like, oh, if you start the Patreon, I'll definitely subscribe and I'll pay. But like they're a customer, like they don't do art, they don't do
Right.
pottery. So I don't know if they'll be watching all the videos and all the content and stuff, but they just want to have a way of paying.
Exactly. Like that's why we set up our Patreon for the podcast. Like Jen, one of my really good friends that lives or used to live in San Pedro, she's not even close to a potter. like and she subscribes to our Patreon because she wants to support us and she's like the best human alive. But like
Those humans.
we love those humans. She shipped me $80 worth of Indian food because I said that I was eating ramen. And she was like,
Oh.
you should not eat ramen. And I was like, dude, Jen, I wasn't saying I was poor. I was just saying that it was the end of the month.
What did she
Yeah.
ship you? That was still good.
Oh, it was like a Grubhub thing. Like that's it.
Oh.
She like bought it from a local place. But yeah, anyway, like she's like that
It
type.
arrived
She's like,
in a box. Like,
yeah.
You're like,
with it.
but
like
I've already
a-
got my ramen dinner. Like I don't
Yeah,
need.
she's like a hardcore giver, and we love her for it. She'll listen to
Aw,
this.
That's nice.
She's like,
That's
she listens to
nice.
our podcast, and she has no idea like anything about pottery, which is, I love that. But yeah, I mean, like, there's people like that out there that just want to support you, which I appreciate. And, but it is weird, like on a Patreon where you're like, hey, I'd like you to like, ask questions because that not only helps you,
Yeah.
but it helps me like post more things that,
Mhm.
you're
Yeah,
asking
it'll help
about.
you
So
be more motivated to keep going.
exactly. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
there's a few people like Lindy's on the Patreon and she asks questions and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's like you're gonna get a big influx when you first create it, and
Mhm.
then like how do you nurture it and try to get more people to come into the fold over time.
Right.
Because I don't know,
Right.
like how many people have you heard
Right.
that's like, I'm on this Patreon and it's amazing, you should join it. I
I
feel like
have
it's
Right.
not.
very curated to like what you get out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel
These
like
are
the
all good
only one
points.
the only one that's like that is Danny Meisinger's. He's got like 70 people on his Patreon or
Yeah,
a
Becca's
lot.
mentioned
He's got a
Danny
lot.
multiple times on here about his Patreon.
His Patreon's really good, and like yeah, but I don't and he's like so fucking good at like promoting it on his Instagram.
Mhm.
I'm terrible. He does these like elaborate long videos and he's like, this is just a snippet of what I have on my Patreon. And I'm like, fuck you, Danny. Like
That's what you need to do.
I know.
Just cut
But
the live short. Just be like,
That's
see
why
you
our
over
outro
in
is
my
like that.
Patreon. Click.
yeah, so anyway, that's what those are my findings. I think that you could definitely do the same thing on your website and get
Yeah.
almost all of that money except for maybe 3%, which is like
Yeah.
nothing comparatively, you know?
Yeah, because YouTube is another thing that I'm looking into, and I really didn't like my mind didn't want to do Instagram, YouTube, and keep up with Patreon. So
Maybe just YouTube would work. I mean, you can do a subscription to YouTube, right?
YouTube, and my site, my YouTube, my site, and Instagram, and just keep it.
Yeah.
And then see what
Keep it
YouTube
like that.
takes as well and see if it compares or.
Yeah. You know, it's
So I think you got to get like 1,000 subscribers to get like all these other little fun features and stuff like that. So
yeah.
yeah, I think we can get there.
Yeah,
Okay, would
right,
you guys
yeah.
subscribe? Would you guys subscribe to my channel?
Maybe.
I wouldn't.
I probably wouldn't, but
You guys suck. I'm ending this.
I could buy something every now and then, though.
Hey now, we're just as poor as you are. Well, he isn't, I am. And
Hey, if there's
you
fundraising
do.
things going on, usually I'll throw some bucks at that kind of stuff.
oh,
'cause
I would
I'm like,
subscribe if
Free
it
from my
was free.
YouTube.
I would much rather do that.
Yeah. I thought we were talking about a paid subscription. If it was a free
No.
subscription, I would absolutely
Oh, I
subscribe.
thought you were talking about a paid YouTube subscription. I'm like, I don't subscribe to anybody on YouTube.
No.
But if it's free, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I thought you guys were like, no.
We're not those type
No,
of
I
people.
thought you meant the paid
We're
YouTube
not-
subscription.
We're just cheap as fuck.
I
Like
have to get to 1,000 quickly.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
I
So
can-
put a
I can
video up
subscribe. I
there,
can help
and then
that.
everyone's gonna
I
come
mean,
and swarm it.
you've got 40,000 people on your Instagram or 40 something. You know, you should just put out a call to action and be like, dude, I need 1,000 people to subscribe. You don't even have to fucking watch them. Just I
Yeah.
need you to subscribe. Like, who doesn't have a YouTube subscription thingy?
And
Like
that would
everybody.
be a good thing to see how many people actually see my posts too, because
Yeah.
it's definitely not the whole 40K.
Mhm.
Like I think like for certain videos that I post that I know Instagram isn't sharing, I only get like 200, 300 likes. So
Yeah.
that's probably my reach. It's 200, 300 people.
How many people see your stories, do you think?
I looked like 100 to 200.
Are you a
No.
pretty avid story person? I feel like you are, but
Sometimes. If I don't post, I'll be more active in stories.
mhm.
But yeah, it depends. Every now and then, I'll do some story stuff.
Yeah.
But what's yours? Have you guys looked at your insights for stories?
My stories, 678 people have seen the last story. Like the
How many stories you
oldest
post in
story.
Becca?
Dude, I post a fucking lot of stories, and a lot
That's
of those
pretty
are
good,
just
actually.
fun.
It's your
600
cat.
something.
Yeah, a lot of them are my cats or just funny memes. So like,
Yeah.
I feel like I post my stories, and they're a place to be. You know, like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
unlike
Yeah.
my posts.
Mine
which are not.
normally get.
Yeah.
Mine used to get a lot more, but probably more like 400 or 500, like 500, 600, something like that for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? Like, why am I getting up to you guys and I only have 11,000
I think it's because
people?
you share less frequently, but when you do, it's like funny and stuff, and people engage with it. That's probably
People
why.
like that.
Oh.
Well, maybe because you post less as well. So like when
I
they
do post a lot
see
less.
your stories, they tend to not exit out of it.
Maybe.
or
Mm.
skip through it.
Yeah, you gotta look at all this stuff.
I know. It's crazy.
Massive.
Yeah. We had a listener question that I was holding back because it was related to talking with you, and I wanted to ask it because it's very relevant to your business, I think. So this came from Metabani Pottery. It says, "How do you manage your time with reference to working in the studio and marketing? So like posting, studio pictures, videos, updates, products, all that stuff. Do you create content, save it, and then post it at the end of the day? Do you just go with the flow, post it when stuff happens? And then do you plan and post and then curate them over time? Or is it like impromptu?"
Curating would be lovely. That's the ideal. That does not happen in my head. My head, like I want to be a planner so bad in my head, but in reality, I just go with the flow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like today, I was throwing a bunch of coasters. It was very like repetitive. I'm just like, this isn't exciting. I'm not going to record it. But then something popped in my head. It was just like, yes, you can record it. You can do like, what's it called? Time lapse of like
Mhm.
coasters. And then you can do a pan of all the coasters you made, like all lined up. I'm just like, yeah, I can do that. So like, I just talk to myself. I'm just like, yeah, I can make this a post. And so I'll just start recording and just putting my camera in different angles as I'm like working. Like I'm really working to work. I'm not working
Mhm.
to make a video, but I'm just recording it to capture it.
Mhm.
And then when am I going to edit it? Probably edit it at midnight or
Yeah.
while I'm
Right.
in bed, going to sleep. I'll like put it together and I'll save it and I'll post it in the morning.
So you're recording
So
and like that's the last time that you recorded is the next post coming up. It's not, you don't,
sometimes,
yeah.
yep. Usually it's like the next day. Because
Wow.
some
Okay.
things like you can kind of tell, like you can kind of also tell like what clothes I'm wearing if I've recorded a couple of things in one day or not. Because I don't change my clothes. I don't really care about that much. But I might do a couple of recordings in a day and then I'll spread them out.
Yeah.
Or if I have nothing, I'm just like, shit, I have nothing to post today. I'll like look at go back
Archives.
and get some old footage,
Do you
compile
post
it, put it
like once
together,
a
and throw
day?
it on there. I try to, but I have not lately. Ever since like my accident, like my whole mindset of like capturing things has changed. I'm just like, not worth it, Diana. Just enjoy life. So I've been enjoying life more and capturing less.
Mhm.
But then sometimes
Good.
it just kind of like knocks in my head, like, you need to be capturing this. You need to post.
Yeah.
You haven't posted in 2 days. So I'm just like, okay, I need to post something. So, but
Are
yeah,
you
but for
like,
a
are you
while,
getting better about like, it sounds like you're kind of thinking about what would maybe be good content in the studio. Like you said, you kind of, it's just in the back of your mind while you're working, but are there things that
mhm.
you've like recorded and then you're like, you know what, that's probably not good enough to go, or like you kind of sit on it and see like, is this something that I think's actually going to get good engagement or going to like
Yeah,
negatively,
my mind will go through all of those things. Um, so yeah, what will be good content? What will people like? Sometimes if I'm just in the moment and I'm listening to really good music, sometimes I'll hear a song and then I'll start seeing the image of what the content would look like to go to that song. And so I'll start decorating my whole studio. I'll get my plants, put the plants in the background. It's like, this is the shot. And then this is
Oh,
the
so you're
scene
like
because
setting a
it's
scene.
going sometimes. So when I do like my bigger, like longer videos, I'm setting scenes and I'm doing all that stuff.
Hmm.
But
Those are
I'll do
like
that every once in
the
a
kind of
while.
the like dancing while you're throwing kind of videos.
Yeah,
Okay.
my fun ones.
Yeah.
I'll curate that because it goes with the song, and so
Uh-huh.
I'll kind of like I'll do things to go with audio.
Do you see that those
Um,
tend to like, I say in quotes, pay off, but do they get better results that kind of match what you expect out of them? Like you're like, I know
Sometimes
this
they
is gonna blow
do.
up.
The ones I think is gonna blow up never blows up. The ones that I just randomly did like midnight and like put it together, those are the ones that like do well. So I'm just like, maybe I should just not care and just put shit together. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, the ones that I like overthink, they do okay, but not as well as I thought
Yeah.
it was gonna be. Um, but yeah, I have a lot of things in my head that like I want to record, and so sometimes like I'll hold off on like I have furniture like a plant rack. waiting for me to build. I haven't built that since I've been here. So I'm like, I want to record it, and then I'm gonna record myself putting it in my little plant corner and putting all my plants in it. So like, I have things in my head that I want to create content with, and so it just waits until I feel like recording myself.
Right. I can
Um,
see that for sure. There's certain pieces that I don't finish. Like I have pieces that are underglazed that I have to carve, but I'm like, I'm holding these back from carving because I want to film me
yeah,
doing it so that I have it in the bank
yeah.
just in case.
It's gonna be the right lighting,
Yeah.
right time of day. Change my clothes. So yeah,
This is why I have
it's a mix.
11,000 followers instead of 40.
No, so like that like push of followers. I think I was at like 20K like a couple of months ago, and it just like bumped up a whole
I
20K.
think the reels
Like
the
super
reels have
quick.
some legs.
Reels have legs.
They have some staying power.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have 2 reels that went viral. Like they're almost at like a million
Holy shit.
views, or like 100K. I don't know. 2 went viral, so that was where all these followers
Looking
came
right
from.
now.
Yeah, it was one of me like making this shelving unit that I have in the back. Of me putting that together, and then there was another one
Not even
about like,
pottery related. You know, fucking
yeah, they're
viral
just like
video from yeah.
me drilling shelves. They're just like, oh, look at this girl working. But it's like inspirational audio in the background. I think it's always like the inspirational audio that
Okay,
goes
1.3
viral.
Oh,
million
yeah.
is one of these while it looks like you're trimming something. I don't know if the audio's going to.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, that one.
It's like, yeah, it's about like inspiration and
Mm-hmm.
consistency. And so everyone's like, oh, I really connect with this. Thank you for posting. So it has like tons of comments.
Yeah.
I do this voice, but like I'm not making fun of anybody, but like that's like those are the comments. Like everyone's like
But that's all
connecting with the
yeah.
audio.
Like I had one go viral about my I was so mad too. I posted it on the last day or like 2 days before my month ended for Reels money, like the bonuses, which was so smart on my on my end. Anyway, I had it about my finger and the ruler on my finger, and people are like, you're so dumb. Like your finger grows. Like that ruler's not accurate. I'm like, fuck you. Like nobody fucking cares. Like if the ruler is accurate, even though it is. Like
What do they act like you're like 11 years old and you're still growing as a human?
Right, I mean my finger's not gonna grow that much, but also it doesn't really fucking matter. Like it's like I'm not gonna
People are crazy.
people are so dumb, and it's just like we love them, but they're dumb. And and yeah, I don't know. It's at like 500K or something like that. But
People love that shit.
Was there a meme or something that was like, you're so stupid?
That's Kitten Mittens from
Kitten Mittens.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Is your cat making too much noise all the time? You're so stupid. Introducing Kitten Mittens.
Oh, this is what I wish I could see your face.
Oh my
I can't
gosh.
see your face.
I know, I'm so sorry, but it's not even that great, I promise. But you should look it up because it's the funniest fucking clip I've ever seen. Like they have like a lion tearing apart a zebra as like one of the clips on the commercial. It's always sunny. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Kitten Mittens.
Mittens. I write
Kitten
it down.
Mittens.
Kitten Mittens. But yeah, it's just dumb. Oh, I have a question. I'm putting you on the spot because I really want to know what the fuck is going on with these coasters. Like, why like have you gotten some that are flat? Like, what's going on with the coasters?
Oh, with the curvy ones.
Yeah.
The ones that work. So all of them were flat until I decided to fire them with this tile rack that I have. Should I go get it?
Oh, the tile rack. Okay, I know what you're talking about. The tile.
Yeah, so it's a tile rack, and I thought it'll be so smart. I'll save so much space if I just pop them in this rack. And they're like barely reaching the side. Something told me in my head like this is probably not going to go well, but I did it anyway. And instead of me testing it out, I did all of them in this fucking rack. And so I'm like, let's just see what happens and fire it. And a lot of them, they're like warping inside the thing. So that's what fucked it
Okay,
up.
but it was only
So-
one set. It was like only one like kiln load.
Yes, one kill mode.
Okay.
I will never use the towel racks again. So I should
I mean,
never
you
have any more
could-
warped.
You could use the
Coasters.
towel racks if you put in cone 10 like tiles and then put them on top of the
Yeah.
tiles.
Oh yeah, there you go.
But yeah, the towel rack not ideal.
I ain't got
Definitely.
time for that.
They
Yeah,
make
no.
those plate. Becca, you used to have those plate things, didn't you? That were like it was like a shelf that was kind of in a triangle
Yeah.
shape.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah, they actually have them at the Tacoma Clay Art Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great actually, and they support all around. But
Mhm.
yeah,
That's
It's
tough
like-
Yeah,
because
right now,
you were making all the coasters at once, so that's kind of all you had to fill the
Yeah.
kiln. So it's like
yeah,
plus you're limited on how many
Yeah.
shelves you have.
we've all been
mhm.
there. We've all been there.
Flat things suck,
Mhm.
but I'm just gonna use my fucking shelf. and just
What do
leave
you
them flat.
what size is your kiln? Like is it a fairly big kiln or is it like a 5 cubic
It
foot? Or
is. I don't know the cubic feet. Do you see it?
Becca's it's on blur mode, but it looks
That's
like it's
5.
Oh,
is it up to your thigh kind of?
it is up to like. Let me walk over there. It's up to above my belly button.
Oh, okay.
It's
That's-
press.
That looks like a 5.
Yeah, probably 5
Um,
cubic foot.
I would say it's probably 23 inches across, which is what mine is, and then
Here.
maybe
like
a
2
little
foot
bit
deep or something.
shorter. Yeah. Because usually they don't have 7 cubic foot in a solid body like that because they're
Yeah.
so big.
Yeah, they wouldn't
Yeah,
be able
it's
to
like
fit through a
26.
doorway if it was solid body like that and 7
Yeah.
cubic
Oh
foot.
yeah. It is solid.
Yeah.
But that's good. I
Um,
mean, like you can fit a fair amount of stuff in one of those.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I would love
'Cause-
a new one, but this is great.
Yeah, what
Scott,
I ended up
Are you
doing,
listening, Scott?
Scott,
Anybody?
get
Scott?
those sponsors up.
Amato?
Yeah, when I got rid of my small kiln, I kept my half shelves. And I kept a couple small half shelves and I used those within my bigger kilns inside of a half big shelf. So it's like a 22-inch shelf and then I have the 17-inch shelves that are smaller that I put like inside of a bigger one, and that's what I fire my spoon rests on normally. So every kiln load, I usually have, you know, 6 spoon rests on the like big half shelf, and then I have a stack of a 17-inch shelf that has like 4 spoon rests, and then I have another stack of a 17-inch shelf with a 4 spoon rest. So I can fit
Nice.
about 15 or so spoon rests in every kiln load,
Nice.
or
Man.
coasters or whatever like that. But yours is
That's life.
I mean, you could do that if you had more half shelves, but yeah, that'd be tougher.
I need more money to get more shelves.
Yeah.
Shells are expensive. They are
They're
not
so
cheap.
Expensive. And like my this is the first time I saw these, like, what do they call it? Titanium shelves? Steve has these fancy shelves.
The advancer shelves, the like
Advancer shelves.
Is
the
that what it's
black
called? They're like
silicone
metal?
carbide ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like you don't have to put kiln wash on them. You just sit shit on it and shit pops
You don't
off.
have to put kiln wash on them, but it is definitely, it would behoove you to put alumina on them. But yes.
Depends on what kind of clay you're
Fucking
using,
dope.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for porcelain, I think they were saying you gotta at least wash it, put in your wax, some aluminum.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I used to just sprinkle alumina on the shelves before I would put them in the kiln. Because I used to have those too. They literally cost you like a whole life. Like you could sell your liver and you wouldn't be able to afford
You
those
probably
shelves.
bought
Like
that used kiln, or like you could buy a kiln with the price of a kiln shelf.
you could buy a kiln with the price of those shelves.
It's crazy.
And for you, it's not worth it because you have no glazes that drip. So like,
No.
it's
I
not.
have, like I should show you my shelves.
'Cause some
they're
of your
all, like,
stuff-
pitted and gross, and I haven't washed them in the longest time because I don't have a
Yeah,
problem
I don't
with
wash
things
my
sticking.
shelves either. And like you don't need to if you don't have anything that runs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the only
That's
reason
why
I
I
got
like
the
it.
advancers was because I had students that didn't know what they were doing. So
Yeah.
Mhm. So students.
yeah, and it gave me an excuse to be like, I'm not gonna wipe this off on the bottom. They're gonna have to pay for it. And then like it just like runs on the shelf, and you're like, sucks
See?
for you, not for me. Like
An extra $50.
Yeah. Use like the kiln cookies or whatever if you didn't have those kind of
yeah,
shelves.
yeah.
So with the we kind of thought you kind of mentioned it earlier, but you were, when you first kind of, I wouldn't say blew up, but like got more eyes on your stuff and you kind of were making to what people were interested in.
Mhm.
Are you to a point where you feel like you could be more strategic, or does it still feel like you have to kind of go where the wind blows with the customers?
I feel like now, I think everyone who's purchased something from me or know me, I think most of the people have planters, and I think people are tired of planters. That's what I'm feeling like. People are tired of planters because whenever I do a planter run, because right now I have some small planters that are still in my shop, and so I'm thinking, okay, maybe people are over the planters. So as soon as I like change it up and like try something new, like the coasters, everyone's like, yeah, coasters. Everyone wants coasters. I'm like, okay, what about spoon rest? Yeah, spoon rest. Okay, what about? So I'm just gonna keep throwing new shit
Hmm.
out and this and just seeing how it
Try it,
goes.
trial, and see what
Um,
happens.
yeah, when I did like bases, the bases were everyone bought fucking bases. I'm just like, okay, just people just want to see constant new stuff,
Hmm.
you know. Um,
And then
so
you
I
can
don't have to
cycle
be
back
stuck in
around.
planter land. So like maybe I can just do springtime, just planters, and make people wait to get a fucking planter in the springtime.
Yeah. And you got the
So
different designs too. I see you've got some different kind of styles with the planter carvings and stuff like that.
yeah, and I have like my new branded thing that I want to do some planters on. So I think that would do very well. And I have a new design. Oh, I already sold it. Like a splash design
Oh, nice.
that I did for a customer who just like randomly contacted me. They're just like, do whatever you want. I don't care. And I like that. I like when they say do whatever you want. I'm just like,
Hmm.
I just threw a bunch of shit and I carved out some stuff. I'm just like, you like this? She's like, I love it. I'm like, I think I'm gonna do this as a line because like I love it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's just good just to kind of break out of the routine a little bit
Yeah.
and just try new shit because people want new shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not my best
Yeah.
business interest to tell you this, but you should try some oil bottles because I'm falling back in the game of getting these carved oil bottles out. But I
I've
feel like
had
there's demand for it if you can throw them.
a customer asked for it. She was like, "Can you make?" So okay, so I'm gonna tell you right here. I so I'm trying to be more strategic with how I launch things.
Mhm.
So I want to do a whole like kitchen dinnerware, bakeware, something vibe for the holidays. So this
Hmm.
is like before, what is it? Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
I want to
Mhm.
do a whole like kitchen thing. So I think that's gonna go great. And the oil bottles is a part of it, and like little ramekins and some bowls, maybe some plates and stuff like that. And
I could see people
yeah,
wanting that decorative, like the planter style, but like for a utensil holder or something. Like it's very eye catching.
yeah,
It's featured on the counter. Like I could
right.
definitely
Or
see
like a
that.
large bowl for like serving things or
Yeah.
something.
Mhm.
So I think that's gonna go very well. So I'm kind of thinking just to kind of like run, just to keep things fresh for me too, and for the customers. Just launch things in like different seasons.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
And
don't put
then for
all
like,
your eggs in one basket.
yeah, and then I'm learning like Christmas time, they want a lot of small things. So I'm like, I'm not gonna make a bunch of giant faces and stuff like that. I'll keep it
Right.
small and do more gifty stuff. And so I'm learning.
Mhm.
It takes time, um, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna start doing
Sweet.
now.
Yeah. Plus, it
Hmm.
makes it more enjoyable when you're making. If you're not like, okay, I gotta make coasters for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, or the next 2 months.
or whatever. Yeah.
I don't want to make coasters for the next 3 months.
I'd be down for making coasters for the next 2 months.
Really?
If they sold.
But how do you make your coasters?
I just slap them on the wheel and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I ain't carving any shit.
Yeah,
No
she's
way.
not gonna do
That's
the.
not
She's
my
not gonna
thing.
put the underglaze. And
You
stuff.
guys can take the carving. I will take the easy road. I only work 4 hours a day. You're a workaholic. I work 4 hours a day. I'm good.
I do 4 hours a day. Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Not on
Do
carve
you-
day though. Not on carve day.
So with the glazing options, do you only use clear glaze?
Yes.
Okay.
I only use clear. And I'm trying out different clears. Okay, so clears are it makes me so sad when I think about them. So
Some
I
of them are very
love,
hit
like,
or miss with certain colors. I don't know if you're using
yes.
speedballs, but certain speedball colors are hit or miss.
No. Did you try out the
Yes.
PNC clear from Tacoma Clay Art Center?
No, but I heard that was good.
It's great. It's the best clear that's pre-made that I've ever experienced.
I need to try it because I am in love with Amico clear. There's zinc-free
Mhm.
Amico.
Mhm.
It's the best clear that I've ever used, but it's so fucking expensive and it's
Mhm.
hard to find now that they have all this shipping issues or whatnot.
Yeah.
I can't find it anywhere, but when I do find it, it's like fucking. It's
Would
like
you,
$60,
since that's your
$80 a fucking gallon.
focal point of like one color, would you be willing to make your own if it worked?
I mean, if it worked, maybe. But then I've heard of other people who make their own. They're like, oh yeah, this clear is good. It's my clear. It's a little cloudy, but I'm just like, I always hear it's a little cloudy, but I'm like, I don't want fucking cloudy. I don't want any bubbles. I don't want
Yeah. I feel like the one that I got from
anything.
Becca that Rebecca Graves also uses is good. That's what I use with mine. I use exclusively speedball underglazes, but
Yeah, and it's not
Mhm.
cloudy.
no.
Send it to me.
Have you tried a low fire clear? Because I think that Tim from Cardboard Tim Ceramics, I think he uses a low
Kowalczyk.
fire Amico clear or a low fire
Mhm.
some low fire clear, and that might work.
What do you mean it's low fire clear, but it goes up to cone 6 and it doesn't run
Yeah.
everywhere?
Yeah.
Or you would low fire it?
No, it's like cone 6.
Oh.
It's a low fire clear that goes to cone 6.
Interesting,
Oh.
but it's still Amico, so it's still expensive.
It might be Amico. I can't remember whose it is. I think he's pretty loyal to Amico, so it might be that, but it might be easier to find.
Okay.
Hmm.
Do you know the name of the clear?
I think it's just the low fire clear, or maybe it's the same that you do, but also I really liked the Mako zinc-free clear, and Mako is traditionally exceptionally cheaper than Amico, and if their low fire went up to cone 6, that'd be fucking dope.
Yeah.
You could do tests. I would not.
It.
I would get like a 2-ounce one, and try it out. But
yeah, I for sure need to do some more tests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But have you guys ever put can you put Darvan in glazes? Like if it's not fluid enough for you.
So from what I understand,
I'm not as familiar with that. I know you use that for casting slips, but I'm not.
Yeah, do you want it to be thinner or thicker?
I want it to flow better. So I use.
So you want it to brush on better?
Yeah, I don't want it to leave the drip marks. Okay, so the other clear that I have, I bought a powder form from Aardvark, the clay shop that I go to.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we have our clear. It's $5 for a bag. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do that. So I made it, and when I dip it, I just feel like it doesn't run, it doesn't smooth out itself. It just and it just stays. And
very solid. Yeah.
Every drip mark, and even if I water it down, it's just thinner. I'll have to do 2 coats, and I'll still have to brush.
I wonder if you could put
a little bit more smoother.
I wonder if you could put a CMC gum solution in it.
I just need something. I don't know what it is. I need something
Yeah.
that makes it more fluid. Like the Amico, I just want it to coat
Yeah.
evenly.
I think I can confidently say for the both of us that both of us are fucking terrible at glazing. So,
Well, I don't know enough about like, okay, you want it. I would
yeah,
think water, but you don't want to put too much water because that'll throw some
Yeah.
things off.
I think
But
a gum solution would like not liquefy it, but like kind of like give it more viscosity so it would move a little bit better. I would
less
ask Josh.
viscosity. She wants less viscosity.
No, you want more viscosity so it moves.
Viscosity's thicker,
No.
Stop arguing.
right? More viscous is thicker, like syrup.
Well, you want it to level, okay? You want it to like level a little bit, and I would ask Josh Heim because that's who we always ask.
J.H. Pottery Works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably so mad at us for like being like, ask Josh.
No, he doesn't.
On your podcast, everyone's like DMing him.
Viscosity says the state of being thick, sticky, and semi-fluid in consistency due to internal friction.
So you want more of it?
I would think you want less viscosity, which I think Darvan might be your option based on you add
or
Darvan
sodium silicate
to clay to make it a casting slip, which thins it visually.
Because I even add a little Darvan to my speedball paint because you know how it comes like so thick sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I do water and a little bit of Darvan, and that's it.
Ooh, I might need to try that on certain colors.
Yeah.
Well,
does it make it less like?
In the...
Does it make it less like powdery, like chalky, or it paints
depends on
smoother?
the color. It depends on the color. Some colors are just more chalky than others, but it makes it more smooth. You won't get like the brush marks.
Nice. Okay, I'll need to try that.
Dusty. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is
so
dusty
you're using
the right
speedball underglazes, right?
I just started too. So I've been using like Amico for like everything, but since they had like a an inventory issue, or shipment issue, I just started using different brands. And Speedball came in to the rescue. They're like, "We can help. We got some colors we want you to try." So they sent a bunch, and I have a bunch that I'm trying. And like I have a sample of like a comparison between Amico's. So if you can see this, I guess if you go to your Patreon, you can see this comparison. Mm-hmm. So one is Amico and one is Speedball.
Those are like fully glazed?
Fully glazed.
Okay. The right one looks like teal but I don't know, they look like teal to me. I can't tell which one's which, but
yeah, so this one's Speedball, teal.
Yeah.
And then this one is Amico's blue green.
Okay. And do you like the Speedball one? Did it turn out okay?
It came out good. I like the depth of the Amico. It's a little bit more darker.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is still in comparison, it's still pretty good.
Teal's one of my favorite ones.
It does the job.
Paint wise. Like the teal Speedball one spreads pretty good.
It does.
You know what? That's weird. That's weird because the Mako teal is also the same. It's like fucking beautiful. Like, what is it about teal?
There's certain colorants in there, I'm sure that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Speedball white, I think, sucks the most as far as spreading.
I've never seen it be beneficial for me to use white on the white clay body.
Oh, I love white on white.
Maybe I've got a test. I've got a bottle that I need to glaze, and I'm going to see what it looks like and be like, is this worth it? Like, what would be the difference if I just carved it without any underglaze?
Yeah. It's just more depth. You do see the color variation. Okay. I tried it when I first started and people were asking me for a request, someone wanted a white lidded jar. So I'm just like, oh, I have white clay. I'm just going to glaze it clear. Like, they won't know. Mm-hmm. So when I looked at it, I was like, something's off. Like, it just looks basic. Mm-hmm. And so when I did the white underglaze on top and carved it, you can see the color of the clay is probably more creamy and the white is white. So it looks nice. It looks nice.
Have you ever, and maybe this is just part of something you can experiment with if it's doable, but have you ever tried just like seeing if your designs are what draw people versus the colors, because I wonder if your carving designs without any color would be enough. But if you just use clear, it'd kind of be like, I want to say like the simple line or something, something that cuts out a part of your process that makes it more cost effective as well as more streamlined for you.
The simple
I
sample.
The simple sample.
sample. People are like, I don't want that simple shit. I want the color. I've tried, when I was doing my black clay run, I tried, that color was called Bear, and pretty much Bear was just the clay. It was just the carbon.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't put black on top. So I had black and I had Bear. And the black always sold more over the Bear.
But it was already black clay?
It was already black clay, but the black on top of the black, so it was like black on top of like charcoal. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
yeah.
it made a nice contrast. And the Bear was just.
And the Bear, did it have a clear glaze over it, or was it just bare clay?
No, it was just Bear. I don't clear my black clay because I don't like the way the clear looks on the black clay.
Oh, okay.
That is hilarious.
I leave it bare.
When you said bear, I instantly went to like a bear.
BEAR.
A BEAR, and then you were like, no, it was just bear clay, and I was like, oh, that's what you meant. I was like, why would you call it bear?
Because
anyway,
bear.
I'm sure there's some wordplay you could have with like bear and like come up with like a slogan or like the bear. I don't know. There's probably some marketing way that you can do that. And
the bear line, bare naked, bare
naked.
People were like, ooh, I like bare naked. Yeah, just do white bear and black bear.
Well, brown bear is Kentucky Moberts has a clay called brown bear.
Mm-hmm.
Black bear, brown bear, and white bear.
Yeah, they have a white bear too. I don't think they have
bears.
Oh, there you go.
A black bear, but yeah.
Yeah, you could do
We're coming out with new things.
Yeah, you can come with the bear clay with the white underglaze. That would probably look kind of cool. And then you got the black underglaze. And then you got the bear.
Mm-hmm. BARE.
Right.
Bear.
White bear. Black bear.
White bear. Brown bear.
Brown bear, yeah.
I love it. Writing it down. 2023.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there's so many options to do, right? So, I feel like there was something else I wanted to ask you about. We've kind of threaded through here Instagram a little bit. So,
yeah.
With some of the changes mentioned and some other people asked about that, like, do you feel like you have to be kind of reactionary and play to like change what you're doing, or do you just kind of stay in a lane and just keep going and you kind of don't worry about that and that's just kind of noise?
I don't know. I'm still. So I know that they want everything to be reels, and I've switched to like mostly reels. I don't really do a lot of post anymore. But with all those extra features and collaborations and grids and all this other stuff, I'm not gonna play with that right now because I have too much stuff in my head and I don't need any more things in my head. And I feel like I'm not really trying to just grow followers just for the hell of it. Like I really want to make sure that I'm just staying consistent and making the content that I want to make and the content that my people want to make, whether Instagram decides to share it or not. I'm just like, oh well, like I know that I put out a great video, and if somebody saw it, hopefully they'll share it and then it'll get out that way. But I'm not trying to please Instagram anymore because like even with the whole like paid reels, so like I have paid reels too, but I noticed that like I was all excited when I got it, just like, yeah, I'm gonna make some money. And a lot of like those 2 reels that like went viral, those went viral after
the 1 month cut off.
Slot
yeah.
Cut off. So I'm just like, you motherfucker, like that was there for like the whole time. I made it during the thing, and you don't want to give it to me until afterwards. And like it happened to me twice. It went viral after. And then now I'm noticing that it's making me be on Instagram a lot more, trying to make videos so I can get money or get views or get plays. I'm just like, it's not about me trying to help other people stay on the app. Like, you're physically making me stay on the app and waste all of my time making all these reels.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, you're playing me. You know what I mean? So I'm like, fuck that. So I don't really care about Instagram new stuff and what they're trying to do. Like, I really don't care. I'm just gonna make the content that I want to make. And if it hits, it hits. Great. And if it doesn't, I don't care. I just know that
Yep.
I did my best. So
Indeed.
that's all I can do.
Yeah, I
It
feel like you
stops
kind of
you
have
at
to have
like
like
$100 anyway.
I've never made it past like $120.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Becca,
just,
when you said it first came out and you got it like 6 months ago, you said it was like 200, I think was the kind of that number. And then
Let's see. It was like unlimited first, and then it went to 200, and then it went to 100. So once you hit $100, it like significantly drops.
slows you down.
It slows you down a lot, which is on purpose. Which honestly though is great. Like on TikTok, the way that they do it on TikTok, unless you hit it big, you get money. Like I hit a 2 million view video or something like that, and it gave me like $25. Whereas opposed to Instagram, so like if you're hitting it huge on Instagram, then consistently, or I lied. If you're hitting it huge on TikTok consistently, then you're making a lot more money than Instagram. But if you're not hitting it huge on Instagram consistently, you're doing fine because you're hitting $100 every single month. So
Right.
they're basically, Instagram's like giving money to the little guys as opposed to TikTok, who's like, hey, give it all of our money to these people that are going viral all the time.
yeah,
So
it's like a snowball if you're already popular on TikTok.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's a bummer that it's like, there was, I know for sure there was a bunch of creators that were making a ton of money on Instagram, and then it dramatically lessened once that rule went into place. But for those of us that don't hit it huge every single day, it's like, hey, $100
like
is $100. Like, who fucking cares?
Spreading the money out to more people.
Like, I'll take like, I don't even have to try to get to $100. Like, I'll take $100. If you want to give it to me for free, that's fine.
Yeah. So I really don't have to do anything new and different, I feel. We'll see. They probably heard that. And they're probably going to cut off my money.
I know.
They're like, oh, Diana doesn't do the reels. Okay.
I had somebody was talking to me about like I was at a friend's gathering and they were they did not know who I was. I was like the odd person. I was the new person, and they started talking about like making money on TikTok, and I went off. I was like, here's the deal. Like, I was like, that's not realistic, blah 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 blah.
They were making money
blah.
already, or they were saying
No, they were talking about like how you could make money off of TikTok on certain things, and I was like, that's not reality. And then I felt like a total asshole at the end. I was like, ugh, I shouldn't have said all that.
Do you know who
Did I just ruin their fantasy?
Well, it's like you just have like like people say that and you're like, it's not like that. You don't get paid very much money. It sucks. But yeah.
Well, it's like the facade. It's not really like an intentional facade, but it's like people see what kind of the vibe is, and it's like, oh, they got, Diana's got 40K. It's like, oh, it must be easy. And then you're like talking about, I need to pay my bills next month, It's
it's a struggle.
Yeah, for real.
40K ain't paying my bills, so.
I know. I wish they paid you about like for how many followers you had, like, or something like that. Like it'd be cool if it was. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. It seems that somebody with like 50,000, 60,000, 40,000 followers should be earning not easy money, but easier money.
Yeah.
But
it's like you think that they have it all together, but you don't know their lives. Like everyone has.
Yeah.
It could have they could have hit like 100K because of one fucking video that went viral.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't change how much they're making a month or in a year.
Yeah.
Right.
It could, but you know,
Did
Yeah.
did the
never know, like, all
influx
this
of
stuff is just-
attention like affect you at all with the amount of just number of people like DMing you and like responding and commenting? Because I feel like
yeah, I
it
mean,
gets
the
to a
comment.
point.
I think I like the commenting is what's beneficial for me because I feel like if people are engaging with you and want to talk to you and like sending you DMs, I'm like that's more important than like your number of followers.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times like I'll see people that have like, you know, 50, 60K and I'll go on their page and like no one's liking their videos, no one's commenting on their videos. I'm like, who are you talking to? You're not even talking to your people? Like what is this number? Like who are these
Yeah.
people
Like,
that are following you? So
did you pay for these people?
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like that's
seriously.
what I instantly think. I'm like, you must have just paid for these people because you have no engagement. You
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah.
yeah, that follower number it means nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It means
feel like it
nothing and
almost
everything at the same time.
I feel like it almost adds more noise. It's like you get to a certain
Yeah.
point, it's like now you've got to spend just like maintaining, commenting, and talking to people, like replying to people is already going to be 45 minutes of your day or an hour of your day.
Yeah. Like I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and I'm in bed responding to comments for like 2 hours, it feels like. Like it should be I should leave after like 1 hour, but sometimes I'm like still there scrolling through and I go back and forth and it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's tiring. But like you'll get like those special comments that like really makes it worth it. Like if you made someone's day or changed someone's life for the better or whatever, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm just like that's really cool. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep doing it, you know.
That's
So
why I
that
like posting
helps.
like cat stuff or plant stuff. It's like there's enough negativity. I'd rather just post stuff that
Yeah.
brightens people's day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For
Yep.
sure. Oof.
I gotta pee, guys.
All right.
I gotta
Becca, do you have
We
any
should
last
probably
questions?
wrap up anyway.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
I'm good. I mean, I feel like we talked about a lot.
Yeah. I got all my questions answered.
Yeah.
All right.
We've now officially ended 2 podcasts with our guests having to pee. Amy Brumand and you.
Yes.
Yes.
Is
We're
that the
on a-
goal? Like we're not gonna stop until
There's some
the
similarities
guests have
here.
to pee.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yes. Okay, well, tell
That's
people
for
where
them.
they can find you on the Instagram, and then we'll get off.
Yeah. So you can
Or
find
the
me
web.
at so my Instagram is sample.house. So that's sample.haus as in ball
Mhm.
house. And my website is www.mysamplehouse.com.
Cool.
Someone has samplehouse.com. Don't go there. I don't know what that is. So it's my sample
Didn't
house.
get in there quick enough.
Great. Cool. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
And you can go pee now. So.
Yay! Okay, click.
All right. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
thank you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye. Yo, higgity, yo. It's Becca here. Hey, just so you know, thank you for listening. And also, we have. What do we have again? A Patreon. We have a Patreon that you should go, and if you want to donate to, you could donate to it. If you don't, that's cool too. But just Google Wheel Talk Podcast Patreon. Don't do the other one, because there is a Wheel Talk on Patreon, but it's not us. So make sure you get the right one. It's in the show notes. And also, leave us a review because they're fun to read. Okay, bye.